Hi, I'm Haig John. I'm a chiropractor in Melbourne, Florida, and I am going to start with Stephensons today. We're doing a clean book reading, and this is volume 14. There are two volume 14s. This is the Chiropractic Textbook by Stephenson, and written in 1927. And we're going to start with a very important section. This is page 17. Um, Article 49, the first step of the normal and complete cycle. Universal intelligence. The infinite intelligence that is the source of everything in the universe. The infinite intelligence pervading all space and matter, which creates and governs all things, both material and immaterial. It occupies all space and distance. It has existed always. It is older, wiser, greater, stronger, and better than anything in the universe. It created everything, and it must have been first and infinitely superior in order to do it. It must have been and is very intelligent. Having these virtues, it must have never made a mistake, and therefore is always right. Being always right is always good. Being infinitely good is God. See Webster's definition of God. Being infinite, no one can define it. Actually, one can get only a finite idea of it from the finite amount of manifestations we are able to perceive. This intelligence is not limited. It is we who are limited in its perception. Principles 5, 18, and 24. It endows living things with localized power, innate intelligence in parentheses, as a higher manifestation of its forces. Powerful. Very important for us to understand, as little, they're saying, what we can understand in our limited mind of innate intelligence. We need to understand this as we serve. Let's go into the second one. Article 50, the second step of the normal and complete cycle. Innate intelligence, the localized or inborn intelligence of a living thing, a finite portion of universal intelligence in a finite portion of matter, whose mission is to keep the matter in active organization. Principle 21. Individualized universal intelligence, a segment of universal intelligence which, through a part of it, is distinct from it. Principle 20, figure 6. While innate intelligence is a finite portion of universal intelligence, it represents the amount of attention that universal intelligence is giving to that amount of matter. All matter is blessed with the caretaking of supreme intelligence. And if this ceases for one moment, matter would cease to exist. We do not know, of course, but it seems reasonable to believe that the Creator's solicitude did not end when things were created. The universal intelligence is continually unfolding thoughts of which everything in the universe gets its share. That amount intended for it, no more, no less. Organic things seem to be blessed with a greater amount of attention than inorganic things. So much so that universal intelligence has endowed living organisms with localized or specialized branch of itself to attend to things that must have immediate and localized decisions in order to keep the matter organized. Definition of organized: to arrange or constitute the interdependent parts, each having a special function, act, office, or relation with respect to the whole, from Webster's. This definition throws an interesting light upon the subject, showing that if a number of interdependent parts are to have cooperative relation with each other, they must be grouped about a central idea or common need or governing principle. This governing principle is innate intelligence. There are various grades of living things, some not much more than the state of inorganic matter. See the light in circle figure 6. Yet these have 100% of intelligence, exactly proportionate to the state of organization. They are all the specialized intelligence needs, all the universal intelligence intended they shall have. This localized intelligence is not a material thing to be measured in quarts or bushels. We speak of it in percentages, meaning that much or little, the amount of intelligence a living thing has is 100%, and that it shares. Both the mouse and the elephant have 100% innate. Principles 7, 14, 16, and 22. That which each has the amount required to make him what he is. While innate is limited at the amount of matter she controls, which is the amount of matter in the body, she is not limited as to the amount of forces at her command. Principle 9. She has the whole universe to draw from. Observation of manifestations seems to indicate that some innates are deficient and that some make mistakes. A closer inspection will show that this is paradoxical. If we are acquainted with the laws of physics and chemistry, it is easy to see after all, innate has not comparatively very much to work with. Without an infinity of matter, she cannot be expected to have infinite expression. Important. One cannot do the same work with a toothpick than one can do with a crowbar. Principle 24. When innate leaves the body, the matter in it is not destroyed, but reversed to inorganic state. It may still be called organic matter, probably because it retains the form of organic matter as wood does, but it is no longer actively organic, not alive. Most bodily tissue, with the exception of bone, decomposes quickly, while wood or bone holds its form long, time after innate leaves, while the localized, specialized intelligence has left and is no longer concerned with these structures. Universal intelligence is still interested in the molecules, though not in the structures, and still gives these molecules and atoms as much care as ever. If it did not, they would cease to exist at all. Principle 1 and 14. The innate intelligence assembles matter for her use, adapting it so can be used and making it into structures pleasing to herself. But according to universal plan, while universal intelligence does not care particularly for these structures, innate intelligence gives them contrast thought. In order to build them and keep them in repair to function as organizations, she assembles forces from an infinite supply. Just as we educationally adapt steam, gravity, and electricity for the use and convenience, she adapts universal forces and matter for her use and convenience. After constructing the body, she continues adapting material and forces to maintain it that way through life. Principle 23 and 21. Then there are questions right after that. I'll read these questions. 1. What is the term source synonymous with? What is the term subsource synonymous with? And explain the name. What is the innate brain? What is the main characteristic of innate brain? What is the educated brain? Does educated brain educate the body? What is the innate body? What is an educated body? What is the body of material cells of the educated body? What does the term universal mean? What does the term finite and infinite mean? Explain universal intelligence, the first step of the cycle. What is universal innate intelligence? What does organized mean? So this is a very, very important beginning and very important chapter for chiropractic philosophy and principles, understanding innate intelligence, spiritual intelligence, universal intelligence, God, and our educated. BJ wrote all his books mostly about educated intelligence and separating educated from innate, creating a consciousness of innate consciousness, not living from our educated. Even though he did all his experiments, he was in a very educated way, he still told us to act from our innate. We've forgotten that in many aspects of chiropractic. That's why we do our innate adjusting workshops. That's why we have these green book readings, why we speak about philosophy. This doesn't end. I've been doing this since I was in school. I'm not going to stop until I'm under the blanket of the earth and back in heaven. So I love reading this. We're going to do more of this. We're going to discuss it. We'll do it in our Green Book Club. Join us for our Green Book Club. We're doing it Tuesdays at 8 p.m. My personal code is 33-1895-1895. You can't get it wrong. I love and appreciate you. Haig John, over and out. Chiropractor, Melbourne, Florida. God bless you.